Hi everybody, welcome to my first ride of the Energica EVA Rebelle RS. This is a bit of a special one. This is basically one of the most powerful electric motorcycles sold. It is also the most expensive bike I have ever ridden. I think. It's definitely the most expensive bike I've ever reviewed. Base model around 25 grand, this one's closer to 30 because it's got the Olins, it's got carbon fibre and other bits and pieces that come with the RS kit. This bike is quite a thing, power-wise. You know, near on 170 brake horsepower at peak, 215 newton meters of torque. It's an interesting setup, this bike, because it is chain-driven and it has a straight cut tooth gearbox on it, so it whines like this. It's interesting. I actually quite like it. There is another thing about this, which is that it has a range, if you're riding more normally, of around 110, 120 miles, 70 if you're spanking it, but if you're managing to get 70 out of it, you've basically been going on track. But the other thing is it's got DC charging, so this thing charges about 80% of its charge in around half an hour, around there. So this is a much faster charging electric bike. It's got a usable range on it, giving that most people don't do more than about 20 or 30 miles in a day. But then we're going to have to start questioning what people are going to buy this bike for. It's probably not going to be for commuting, so does the range matter so much? Who knows? Who knows? But certainly with quicker charging, options of going further is much easier. But this is my first ride. I'm not going to give you all the specs and figures and all the stuff. I've got this for about 10 days, so I'll let you know in my review at the end, all those bits and pieces. For now, should we just get out there and see what this thing is like? Because I've only ridden it up to about 35 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour so far. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'll go over the controls and all that stuff in later videos. I've got many videos to make on this. The weather's going a bit poop today, so I want to just get on with it. But you have your basic controls, modes and all that sort of thing. You can adjust on here, regen, all that sort of stuff. But this is currently in sport mode, ABS on, and we've got medium regen, which is like engine braking. Just got to set it to go, and we can go. Listen to the sound. It's got a gearbox in it, straight cut gears, as I say, that connect from the motor to the sprocket and the chain. And straight cut gears have a whine to them. Yeah, boy! Jesus! This is why I love electrics. God damn! This sounds like a rocket ship! I'll go off here, so... I just looked down and was like, oh, okay, calm it. I'm not even going to get into the debate of electric. I've said my bit on electric bikes. I've talked about hydrogen, I've talked about everything, I've talked about the price of these things. What was interesting about the Zero SRS, which is one of my, it's my new dream bike. That thing is absolutely amazing. Everyone complained about it being 20 grand, but then when I rode the BMW R18, which, is also a 20 grand or 20 odd grand bike. As it turns out, the SRS, I think you can get a lower one for about 17. But anyway, no one seemed to have a problem with that bike being 20 odd grand. It just didn't even come up in the comments. It makes fantastic noises. I know this. You might say it sounds like a milk float. Sounds like a... Well, milk floats didn't sound like this. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm old enough to know they were like... Not... Man, if I heard a milk float go, we wouldn't have had half the problems we had back in the 90s. Okay, let's talk about ergonomics and things like that. I am 6'4", as you may well know, and I actually do fit on this bike okay. This does have a sporty seating position, so the pegs are quite high up, and my knees have got a bit of a bend to them, but it's not too excessive. I'm fairly upright, probably because of my height, it's helping me here, and I'm not having to put too much pressure on my hands. If I sit further back, I can get a little bit more aggressive. I have a feeling if I actually tried to tuck properly, I might hit my head into that screen. No, it's close, but I could do it. There is something that's quite good about this particular bike, and that is that this was lent to a TV production crew before I had it. And they put some scratches on it, so rather than this being a gleaming, scratchless example, it's got scuffs and marks in places, which are going to get fixed, but thankfully, I don't need to worry about scratching this so much, because I'll be like, nah, I was already on there. They already damaged that panel. Not that I'm about to go and scratch it, but I do have to say, that was, to find out that information before they gave it to me, it was like, okay, yeah, fair. That's actually, I'm quite glad about that. It's lovely throttle, very, very sensitive in sort of how you've got to use it, and you've got to be smooth, but it's very nicely like granular. You can really go through the progression. There's lots of DPI, as it were. It's like a nice mouse with a lot of DPI to it. Oh no, it says slow, and I can see piles of chippings. Please don't tell me they've had time through COVID to actually ruin the roads. Yes, we haven't been able to empty your bin for 2 weeks, but we can put chippings on the road. Oh, it's just death out on these roads. Oh god! Thanks for that, mate. Oh, that's not even mud. That is pure poo. That is pure poo. What's interesting is that the sound of this bike has kind of just blended away into the background for me. I'm already used to it making a whine rather than, you know, than any of the other noises you expect from an electric or even a petrol. It's just, it makes that noise when you're going fast, so your brain's like, oh yes, dopamine, this is good, you know, adrenaline, all of these things. It's like the click training, so it doesn't really matter what noise the bike's making. If it makes that noise when you're going quick, when you hear that, you'll get the same chemicals in your brain releasing and making you feel similar ways. Humans aren't nearly as complicated as we like to think. We are so easily affected by stuff. Like click training a dog works on a human. It is quite good that I've got this for a few days, obviously, because if the weather stops me, at least I've got some extra days to make up for it. But also I'm going to have plenty of time to do things like play with the modes and stuff. I could do that with the Zero, and I set that up the way I liked it with the app. It was called the Spicy mode. There is an app for this one, but thankfully you can actually do, as I say, most of the adjustments, all the ones you're going to want to do really, on the bike. You can even do it while you're going, I think. Probably have to close throttle in between to get it to enable, but yeah, you can do that. It is the horse test. Hopefully it won't freak this horse out. Normally these sorts of horses are actually pretty good on the roads, you know, they're trained, they know what they're doing, they don't get freaked out. You could say thank you, but fine. It's fine. Oh, this is very nice. This is very, very nice. Now I'm going to have to try and make my mind up. Do I prefer this to the Zero SRS? The SRS is a lot cheaper. It doesn't have the power this has, and it hasn't got the fast charging this has. It's got faster charging. You can do to, you know, it charges up in about an hour or so. This is more like half an hour. Interestingly, although this does use the DC charging, it can use the other type of plugs as well. And you can use the 3 kilowatt, you know, plug it in the mains at home. Yeah! Oh, so you're on the corner, yeah, there we go. You can feel the back tyre being worked. You really actually very much can feel that back tyre gripping and working. There is a lot of torque there, but there's also quite a lot of weight. This isn't the lightest bike in the world. I can't remember the figure right now. 250 kilos, something like that. I mean, you can feel it's got a heft to it, but it just feels like an electric bike. I always have this kind of feel to them. I am a very lucky chap, I do know this, and I'm not expecting this bike to be of much, you know, like serious interest in like whether you're going to buy it or not to most of my audience. You know, they don't sell a huge number of these every single year. It's electric, it's very much a premium sort of thing. But people watch Top Gear about, you know, £1 million sports cars and they eat it up and they understand that it's for the entertainment and to see the thing. But, you know, how people spend their money, what bike they choose to buy is completely down to them. And your opinion of what other people should or shouldn't buy is completely irrelevant. I only give my opinion of what I think of this. I don't tell anyone they should go and buy one. And that's my job, sort of. And what I mean by that, in ways, is well, for the cost of that, I could get an X, Y, and Z. Yes, you probably could. But you can't get one of these unless you pay that price. So that's that. Not saying it's better, not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, if you want an Energica EVA Rebelle RS, well, you're going to need some pretty deep pockets. And that's just what it is. But then if you want a solid gold toilet, you're also going to need that. That's not entirely true. I was given a 3D printed one. I do own a golden toilet. It's very small, not made of gold, but it is a golden colour, so you know. Honestly, man, people are too serious. This is about fun. It's about getting on two wheels, something new, something exciting, and just frickin' ripping your arms off. Whoa! Sensible now. Sensible. Be a sensible chap here. Thank you, mate. That was very nice of you. I do the exact same thing. You see someone stop for a minute, just like, you're right, you're all good? I do love the BMW quick shifters. On all the bikes, they've got just this fantastic... Every time it's like a... Anyway, is this going to work? I just went to change it to second, without a clutch. There you go, exactly what I was talking about. Be careful, because death on a stick... Could you even imagine? It's literally a drum of knives. Oh, I think I'm gonna leave this one here. That explains a lot for the first ride. You know, it's all about emotions anyway. This thing feels every little bit of what it is. It's an Italian sports bike, electric. It's a new thing, and my God, is it good. It's fantastically fun. I haven't got any complaints as yet. Comfort is not, you know, through the roof, but then it's the type of the bike that it is. I'm buzzing from riding this. This is absolutely mental fun. Right, if you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new here. I'm very close to 100k now. And if you want to help support this channel, and this is how this channel is possible, through the help of the patrons, and it's how I give honest reviews and answers, because I'm not beholden to any company, and you don't see Raid Shadow Legends and all those sorts of ads. £1 a month on Patreon, and it's 0.3% of my audience currently who are making this channel possible. So if you want to become part of that 0.3, or maybe even try and switch it up to 0.4, please do consider following the links in the description and doing that. There's lots of benefits. So at the bottom here. Anyway, yeah, till the next one. Awesome. English Electric, thank you very, 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 very much for trusting me with this. Although, as I say, the production company's already scratched it, it wasn't me. I'm not even joking out. Scratches. Oh! They scratched the carbon. Sacrilege.